Most people don't know that you can actually monetize text-to-speech channels. Text-to-speech channels were actually made popular by Reddit channels. Now, Reddit channels were YouTube channels that were based on things from the website reddit.com. They used an automated voice to make the video content. The content looks something like this.
What screams I'm way richer than I look? Wearing a t-shirt and jeans in a room of people wearing suits. My company CEO does this all the time. I recently went to get a car wash. I sat next to and talked to a guy who was wearing Crocs and sweats. His clothes looked new, just not expensive. He got into a new immortal Porsche Panamera.
Now, YouTube quickly realized that people were making hundreds of auto-generated videos, and it quickly stopped this form of monetization. The reason they stopped this form of monetization wasn't because of text-to-speech text. The text-to-speech is absolutely fine. What YouTube hates is repetitive content. YouTube officially states that repetitive content is content that appears to be mass-produced in order to increase views, without any significant educational or other values. And the examples they have include synthetic voice reads, third-party content, or nonsensical content, and content on a channel with minimal changes from video to video. Any repetitive or mindless content with no additional educational value, commentary, or narrative, and content that's been mass-produced or generated programmatively will not be monetized. So as you can see, Reddit videos ticked every single box that YouTube didn't want. So you have to understand that this kind of content is very mass-produced and very repetitive. So YouTube hated this content and did not want it monetized. But if you use text-to-speech in a very creative way, which I'm about to show you, and you use a very decent text-speech software, which I'm also about to show you, you can actually monetize this content very easily and grow a cash cow channel. So this begs the question, how do you monetize text-to-speech content? Well, I'm going to show you a channel where you can monetize text-to-speech content very easily. Let's take a look at this channel. Termite Gamer. Now this is a gaming channel which focuses on PUBG Mobile. Now PUBG is a video game which actually has a very large audience on YouTube. But what's interesting about this channel is that the content is actually text-to-speech. But this content is monetized. Take a look.
People, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss about 4-finger and 5-finger claw, and we'll try to explain which one is more powerful.
You can see advertisements playing alongside this video channel. But if we watch the content, we can see that the voice is text-to-speech. The reason YouTube actually allows channels like these to be able to be monetized is because the content is not repetitive. Every single video is different. Also, all of these videos actually provide some educational gaming value. Every single video actually teaches you something about PUBG. And if it doesn't teach you something, it provides some form of gaming entertainment, meaning that YouTube doesn't actually care about the text speech. They care more about the content. Now, what's also interesting is that this content is not mass-produced, meaning that this content can't be mass-produced very easily, meaning that this person who's creating the videos actually has to spend a decent amount of time creating the content. So therefore, YouTube will allow you to monetize channels using text speech as long as you are doing it in the correct way. So if you are wondering, how can I create a channel using text speech? We are going to go over the brief guidelines that I will tell you to use when creating a channel using text-to-speech channel. Step 1. Get the right text-to-speech software. Realistic voices are very hard to find, but I've managed to find some lifelike voices that are very good when it comes to text-to-speech. The only problem is, I don't want to share these with everyone, because then everyone will be using them, and then everyone will know the voice is not an actual human. Therefore, when I do actually give you all the exact software I use on how to have a lifelike text-to-speech voice, I will actually have to leave it in my paid course. If I don't leave it in my paid course, everyone will use it, and the method will quickly become outdated. However, I am going to show you a text-to-speech software that is very good, that works and is completely free, which you can also use. What I use is called a text-to-speech software from Google. If you search Google Cloud Text-to-Speech, you will be on this page. Now, on this page, you can see that it brings you to this page here, where you can actually test the text-to-speech for free. However, don't click Try it for free. On the left, click Demo, and it should scroll you down to where it says Put text-to-speech in action. This is where you can actively test out the text-to-speech software and try to play with the settings until you get something that sounds lifelike and realistic. The preset that I use is the WaveNet H. The reason I use WaveNet H is simply because this is the preset that sounds most lifelike and realistic. You can hear what it sounds like right here.
Google Cloud Text-to-Speech enables developers to synthesize natural-sounding speech with 100+ voices, available in multiple languages and variants. It applies DeepMind's groundbreaking research in WaveNet and Google's powerful neural networks to deliver the highest fidelity possible.
Voices like these are what you should use if you are wanting to make text-to-speech videos. Now that you have your voice, what's next? Step 2. Don't make repetitive content. One of the main reasons you can't use text-to-speech software is because the majority of people who use text-to-speech software make repetitive and auto-generated content, which is very bad in the eyes of YouTube. So when you're making your content, you need to make sure that each video is different in some way or form. Whether it be the visual or the educational value that's in the video, it needs to be somewhat different. Because if it's not different, and YouTube decides that your channel is a repetitive text-to-speech channel, then you have lost all chances of being monetized. Step 3. Edit your video. You don't want a video that looks poor in quality. You want to make sure your video, when you edit it, is constantly engaging. You need either a video like video game gameplay or actual footage. You need some text on screen. You need some form of educational value. It's not just one image with audio. These are the basic requirements. Step 4. Original content. If you're finding content from other websites like Reddit or Facebook, and you're using this content, then this won't work and won't get monetized. This is simply because when you use other websites, it actually looks as if you're just copy and pasting auto-generated content, which YouTube absolutely hates. So you need to make sure that when you're creating your video content, the content in your video is 100% original, meaning that you're not copying an article or a blog post from another website. You actually write the script that the software will say. The last point I will leave you with is that yes, of course, a text-to-speech channel can be monetized. However, text-to-speech channels aren't good. And there's several reasons why text-to-speech channels aren't actually good. 1. YouTube is always changing the rules, making it much harder to get monetized. Therefore, if you use a text-to-speech channel, there is a chance that the YouTube reviewer, who actually accepts monetization applications, could mistake your channel for a boring and repetitive channel. And you may be stuck in the review process for a very long time, and you may have to remake those videos, which will take you a very long time. 2. A human voice carries much more effect than a robot voice. And a text-to-speech voice doesn't have any emphasis on any words whatsoever, meaning that it lacks emotion and actually lacks depth. Therefore, your video quality is actually reduced by a very significant amount. So by using a text-to-speech voiceover, you are actually limiting your video on how many views it can get. 3. Everyone can use the same voice. Other channels will have that exact same voice on their channels, meaning that if someone wants to copy your channel with the exact content and the exact voice, it's going to become very difficult for you to grow your channel. So therefore, I would advise you, if possible, to always use your own microphone when starting out a YouTube channel. Text-to-speech on YouTube is very possible, and you have already seen someone who is using it to make a full-time income. However, using a human voiceover is always the best choice for growing any kind of YouTube channel, especially cash cow YouTube channels.